Welcome, everybody, to Your Life Story podcast. Everybody has a story, a series of moments, choices, and turning points that shape who they are. Your Life Story podcast is a podcast about exploring these journeys. And today we're going to explore Manita's journey. Manita's been through very many things, difficult things in her life. And once I share her, Facebook page and Instagram page, you'll see how inspiring she can be and how she takes everything and sort of flips it, right? For something very energetic and beautiful. You love fashion, you love music, you love dancing, you love movement, and so it's always fun to watch you. The post that really got us talking about doing a podcast together is this one. Let me read it to you. The most powerful woman is the one who rebuilds, reinvents, who turns endings into openings, doubt into determination, and every setback into her reason to rise higher. And really, this is just a great thing for us to be talking about on this podcast because it's about people who have changed their stories a lot of the time. It's for people who have learned how. And so I'm so curious and would love to offer you this platform to share, how you do it. So you share on social media, but tell us now, like a little bit about yourself and how you share and what you would like to share with us.
Well, thank you. I think the Instagram platform has become a way of expressing myself. And, at
Hmm.
one point, everybody was like, oh my God, Instagram, you're an influencer. I don't want to influence, I want to inspire.
Hmm.
It became a way for me to kind of come out of my comfort zone. It was the outfits. It started actually for the necklaces, but
Hmm.
then it kind of transformed into uh, my daily, the daily mood, the mood that went with the outfit, that went with the song, that went with the takeaway, right?
Yes, exactly. The takeaway. I love that.
It was very much representing what I was going through. I think
Hmm.
the Instagram became a way for me to share,
Hmm.
to not just to share in a very banal way, but this is me.
Hmm.
This is me reinventing, coming back, having a voice, being seen, representing a lot of different, and finding myself also.
Yeah. I,
There's so much that can represent me, but I think one of the takeaways was this is me at this stage in my life,
hmm
being divorced, but also this is a sober life. Um,
hmm
this is life without alcohol.
Yeah.
So it's been a journey,
Yeah.
um, and also sharing very unconventional ways of this journey, this
Hmm.
finding a way to heal.
Hmm.
What are the tools that I'm using? What
Hmm.
works, and being able to share that. And I
Yeah.
think it's really important. I just really want to emphasize: I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychologist. Things that I post, things that I share is what I've done. It's what has worked for me.
Hmm.
It's kind of cooking, right? It's the different ingredients, what's going to work,
That's
right?
right. Yeah.
Um, and this works for me.
Yeah. That's great. So, yeah, after having gone through a divorce and becoming sober, I mean, that is like such an accomplishment, and you've been sober now for 10 years. And so I want to congratulate you so much for
Thank
that.
you.
And yeah, and I like how you said that. It's really like your takeaways, and how you are living your life and the mood, the clothes, you're into what you're wearing and the mood of the day, and how you use social media to really express yourself, and share that part of yourself with us, to uplift our spirits, right? And to because your videos and your reels are very uplifting, and they always have that takeaway, that message. So I think it's really great. And so um, I think a lot of people are going through a lot of hard times, and I mean, that's, it's not the only thing that's happening in people's lives, but there are so many periods of down. Many people struggle with alcohol and want to make changes in their lives and find it difficult. So, what are some of the things that you've done to be able to bring yourself to this time? Oh, another thing I want to say is, you said like how you got back. But I feel like you're not going back. You're actually just, it's moving forward. So, you're
Yeah, yes and no.
coming back to yourself, but there's like a really great, there's a change there, that I see that's growing, that's coming out and expressing itself.
Well,
So,
I think it's an maybe it's an evolution. I even tell this to my kids. It's the easiest way to for them to understand. It's like a video game, right?
mm,
Um, in order to get to you have levels, right?
right.
And in order to get to the next level, sometimes you have to go back. But when you go back to the first level, you already understand, and you really kind of how to figure it out. But
Got it.
um,
Got it.
I, you know, I'm kind of a rebel. So even going into the double A, I didn't go into a clinic.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I couldn't leave my kids. I couldn't leave my kids with their father because I knew it
Mm-hmm.
would be even more of a disaster, even though we were still together. So what I ended up doing is I actually did it for the first 90 days, and then I continued doing it for 3 years in the evenings. No,
Mm-hmm.
and what I did realize actually, because even though you leave the alcohol, what we call is like sober alcohol, a sober alcoholic, you still figure out the manipulation. So I figured out that escaping to my group was also another way to kind of leave the chaos. Interesting because I didn't necessarily believe a lot of or agree with a lot of the steps.
Okay.
For the first year, I had to, because my ex husband was a public figure, I ended up having uh, to change and said that I was allergic to alcohol. Right. So
Mm-hmm.
I was playing mind games. I was telling
Mm-hmm.
myself all these different stories in order to
Mm-hmm.
accommodate what would be good for him or for his story, until
Mm-hmm.
reading one of the most incredible books, which is God is My Understanding. And it was written by a rabbi, Rabbi Tobe. And I kind of shocked everybody in the group when I arrived. I'm like, hi, I'm Manita. I'm an alcoholic. And they're like, what happened to her? Um,
So it took you a
so,
while you were going to the meetings because you knew you needed the
yeah,
help, but you weren't fully there because you were still attached to the fact that you were, thinking about somebody else, like your husband's life, and you were putting that before your life.
obviously.
So it wasn't
Well, just
until
let me
you
go
read
back. I
this
was
book.
conditioned.
Yeah.
I was
Mm-hmm.
conditioned. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It was an ultimatum. I was conditioned.
Mm-hmm.
So I was going through the motions, and,
Mm-hmm.
we're not going to delve so much on that, but the trying to figure out how I was going to get sober,
Mm-hmm.
how I was going to hold on to it, what I was going to do. I was trying to go into therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I would ask, and they were all addiction therapists. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, well, do you know anything about addiction? He's like, yeah, well, we studied it. I'm like, how long? Well, one
Mm-hmm.
class.
Mm.
Honestly, unless you've gone through it,
Mm-hmm.
unless you've walked through it,
Mm-hmm.
it is one of the you will not be able to relate to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, and
Yeah.
this is something that I had to hold on to, um, going on to YouTube channels. I was
Mm-hmm.
reading books. I was meditating. I was trying to figure out, um, not just removing this craving,
Mm-hmm.
because that's just the surface,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's removing the first layer and then going underneath, because
Mm-hmm.
that's when the real work starts.
Right. Yeah.
Um, so it's been a process. So it's not just that.
Mm-hmm.
It's also leaving a very toxic, very, very detrimental, toxic marriage
Mm-hmm.
that shut me up. Had to be personified in, I had to dress and act in a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think coming back to me, I guess
Mm-hmm.
the essence, right,
Yes.
is who am I,
That's right. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
am I?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but who am I? And I don't want to put a label on myself because I hate labels,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's very, it's one of the hardest things because there are very, very few people that really know me.
Mm-hmm.
And
So, so Manita, let me just go back for a second and keep us on track. And I let's go back to two things that we were talking about. It's your toxic marriage and the alcohol, and those things were so difficult. And from what I've heard from you so far is the the book, going to meetings, even though you weren't necessarily saying, hi, I'm Manita, I'm an alcoholic, but you were still going to those meetings, really trying to figure it out, trying to find a therapist. So let's go back to some of the other things that you've done, because obviously, your journey, anyone's journey isn't necessarily like straight ahead, right? So already we see how you've, gone here and there, back, to each side, to the right, to the left, trying to figure it out. So what are some of the other things that brought you closer to where you are today?
doing doing alternative therapy,
Okay.
um,
Like,
that was one of the biggest. I can't. Yeah, it was one of the biggest um, turning points, actually,
okay.
because it was energy Reiki. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Apart from doing a lot of family constellations, but this was one of the one thing that really opened the door,
Mm-hmm.
uh, to the creativity. Okay. And it was funny because at one point she goes, "You have to connect to your feminine side." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? I'm very feminine." She goes, "No, you have to connect with the goddess within." I'm like, "Okay." Um,
She
and
woke up the goddess.
and well, I don't know if it was the goddess, because I think it ended up becoming the warrior, because I ended up
Mm,
started creating pearl, um, warrior chest plates,
right.
okay, that were done with pearls and crystals.
Mm-hmm.
And if you follow, or if those that will go on, and very few people have been able to catch that. They're like, what's the story behind the evolution
Mm-hmm.
of these pieces? And
Mm-hmm.
as we know, the aboriginal or the tradition, there was the metal armor, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
In order for the daggers not to go in. So I was creating these chest plates,
Mm-hmm.
okay?
So that was a
But
way,
they
that was a way for you to express yourself. Yeah. So jewelry making. And,
It
that was another
started,
thing. So creativity. So yeah, that's another great outlet for people
but
to.
it wasn't just the creativity. Um, and this is something that I had met a Dalai years ago. And somebody that was with me said, he turned to him and said, I have a very difficult time meditating. And people don't understand that you can meditate in so many different ways. And when I started creating, and I was doing the weaving, and I was doing the knots, and I was doing this, it became it was a meditative state.
Mm-hmm.
Not only am I repeating the same, not the same process, but my mind is shifted. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't have to be so focused on this mental
Strain.
clutter.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
I was going to say something else, but you're 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 transporting your mind into a very peaceful
Mm-hmm.
state.
Yeah.
Um, Not only that, I started creating these pieces,
Mm-hmm.
and then I started putting them on, but not
Mm-hmm.
just putting them on top of clothes. I
Mm-hmm.
was putting them onto my body,
Mm-hmm.
and it also became another healing process because I my I had body shaming from my ex. So here I am creating my pieces and I'm putting it onto my body and I'm thinking, I kind of like that. I kind of like the way that looks. So it became this whole transformation
Yeah.
of who who I who I wanted to be and how I wanted others to be
Mm-hmm.
able to see that side, right?
Okay. Right.
Um,
Right.
because
Mm-hmm.
the way we dress is
Mm-hmm.
going to draw attention, and it's going to be what people will see before they hear you, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And it's been very interesting because people will stop me and then they're like, oh my god, you're iconic and you're so unique, or they'll see me walking in the street and I don't fit in. And I think going back, maybe using the alcohol is I wanted to be part of something. I wanted, not only that I want to numb myself from all the chaos that I was living, but I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to be part of something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now I really stand out um, because I'm not looking for that band-aid. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
looking for um, okay, I'm feeling shitty. I'm going through a really awful moment. Am I gonna, drink it away? Am I gonna, consume alcohol? Uh,
I'm gonna
I'm not in a point.
I was gonna say I'm gonna dress it away. I'm gonna put on some clothes and I'm gonna make myself feel good because that's how you make yourself feel good. Yeah. It's the dressing up
I'm.
and the movement and the going out and the listening to music and stuff like
You
that.
just said
So
it.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
movement and the
Yeah, the movement.
movement is
Mm-hmm.
is I didn't listen to music for
Mm-hmm.
like in I didn't have it, and I'm a dancer. I danced for many years,
Okay.
and coming back and putting the music.
Mm-hmm.
When we'll see, I'll have music in the house now, and it's all kinds of different music. My kids laugh at me,
Mm-hmm.
um, or people will see me dancing in the street. I truly, I don't care anymore.
Right.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I I have my the earplugs on, and I'm dancing in the street, and I know that if I can make somebody smile or
Mm-hmm.
somebody say, I wake I all I want to do is wake up to your videos, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And thank you for doing that. Somebody had said that they were going through an awful period, and they said all I did was, go back and look at all of my different videos, and I'm like, wow.
Mm.
Um, it's also the the authenticity, the uniqueness.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you had said it before. We're all going through something. You know, we
Mm-hmm.
we we all are. We all have something that we're going through, and I think what's really important is to find the healthy aspects, or the healthy little things that we can do, whether it's dancing, whether it's creativity, whether it's yoga, meditation, but that you're doing it for you, and you're not doing it as a band-aid, and you're not doing it, you know and this is something that is really important, and I've lived this in the past week or so, is not being okay and having to escape in a substance, or with a substance, in order to connect, and in
Mm-hmm.
order to be able to find a certain direction.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of the hardest things that I face.
Mm-hmm.
It sets me apart from a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
The way I think sets me apart from a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I would rather be quiet, um, and do what is right for me,
Mm-hmm.
so that I'm okay,
Yeah.
instead of having to feed other people with bullshit, or to
Mm-hmm.
succumb to something that is not me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, listen, it's interesting, and when you start to choose yourself, and when you start to set boundaries, and when you start to not, you know, when you get to that point when you know that you have to change the way things are, not everyone's going to come along for that ride. And so
Nope.
that's like one of the hardest parts, and sometimes, because you're going to have to say goodbye to some people or some things, some comforts, some things that you're used to, and sort of go into uncharted territory where you don't really know how it's going to go necessarily. And you don't really know what, you don't really know what's going to happen or what it's going to be like, but you just know that it's time,
You're right.
time to let it go.
And I think that's one of the hardest things that I've had to face.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Not just with family,
Mm-hmm.
with my ex, when I stopped drinking,
Mm-hmm.
it changed a story. So then he had to
Mm-hmm.
fill it with another story, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because it's so much easier to say, oh, well, she's not okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, or putting limits and boundaries, and saying, this doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I, one sees this in a hierarchy of a family, what
Mm-hmm.
my mother, and then my daughter, or my son. And we change, we evolve,
Mm-hmm. Yes,
right?
our relationships change, and our roles change, And I'm just thinking now about like what we need in order to step over that threshold. So, um, one of the things that came to my mind was your jewelry, your body jewelry, because it was like armor, But can you also think of anything else that you had in your pocket that you used to help you take that step, over that threshold that brought you to the other side?
Conviction,
Okay. Conviction.
determination,
Okay. Yeah.
determination, strength.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to be that victim. I didn't want to be in the victim mode.
Mm-hmm.
I can't stand drama.
Mm-hmm.
Right now I kind of want to run away from it, or I'll shut down from any type of drama, because it doesn't go with me anymore.
Right. So
And
you just got to a point where you had had enough. Yeah.
I listen, not only did I have enough of that,
Mm-hmm.
even it's daily. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, I'll go back. I remember, I think it was a year, maybe a year and a half after I had stopped drinking, and my ex turned to me and he goes, I miss the old you. Just have one drink. And I'm like, excuse me? I'm like, no.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just clarify something. And I was reprimanded
Mm-hmm.
for calling myself and saying that I am an alcoholic because it's the negative, the negativity that we put on it. We're putting a title,
Mm-hmm.
and the two people actually said, I used it's alcohol, disorder and abuse for the particular moment or situation that I was going through.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, it's
You're
completely
you're
out of the question
sorry to the your internet
right
is slowing
now.
down. Your internet is
But
slowing down.
life,
Okay, you're back. Yeah.
I don't want to go back to that life. I see it. I see,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I don't want to dwell on something like this, but I see how it's hurting people. I
Mm-hmm.
see of all ages. But I also know right now that I have found the tools,
Mm-hmm.
not just the meditation, finding the type of meditation. What mood am I in? What do I need?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
How did you get to that point where you started to know what you needed? Because
My
that's like
body,
really important.
what my body was saying.
Okay, so
I
you
was
listen to your
doing
body.
I was doing yoga, whether it was downward dog, pigeon, or frog, and I was screaming.
Mm-hmm.
I was screaming and crying, and because it was my way of letting things out.
Mm-hmm.
I felt that my body was so stuck,
Mm-hmm.
and you become mind, body, spirit, and it sounds kind of
Mm-hmm.
cheesy and whatnot, but I needed to work on all of these different aspects.
It's important for sure. Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I find this is something that is really important. There is no, it's just like a diet, okay? There is no particular, you can't just do a recipe for everybody. You can't
Mm-hmm.
go in and tell somebody, this is what's going to work. Each person is different.
Yes.
One reacts differently. This
Mm-hmm.
is what worked for me. I was
Mm-hmm.
taking the creativity. Then I challenged myself in the creativity because I wanted more.
Mm-hmm.
The dressing. How do I want to dress? How do I want to feel? My hair. So it's not like I'm going through an identity crisis.
Mm-hmm.
It's how do I feel? And I want to be able to share that with the rest of the world.
Yeah.
And what's going to be the takeaway? I don't want to harp. Um, I've gone through all kinds of shit. I've gone through,
Mm-hmm.
when I thought that I've gone through the deepest of the rabbit hole, there's something else that comes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, and just when I think I've gone through that, there's something else that comes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's
Uh,
never end it's really never ending because the more you look into it, you can get deeper for sure. So because you get to a door and then there's a door that's closed and then you open that door and then there's another door and then you open that door and you every time you have to decide, oh, am I ready to open that door? You know, do I have the strength to
or
open that
it
door?
gets open for you. or it
Right, or
gets
it gets
open
open
for
for
you,
you. Right, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it gets open for you for sure.
which
Yeah. 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 Mm-hmm.
and that's something that I've realized. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, now I can say I love it, because I'm like, okay, what is it? What is it that
Mm-hmm.
I need to learn?
That's
Okay,
right. You're
bring it
using
on.
them as a lesson. Yeah, exactly.
Bring it on.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going through this. Okay, I was on my way here, and I had these crazy conversations with myself. And I was going through something else. And last night I was writing. I'm like, okay, it's time to, it's, very ironic. It's at the end of the year of the snake, which is the
Mm-hmm.
shedding of the skin. And I'm like, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Mm-hmm.
Let's,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
I also, the people that I surround myself with
Mm-hmm.
also affect. Um, I've chosen very, very petit comité. There are very
Mm-hmm.
few people that really know me, or know what I'm going through. I know a lot of people, but it's who I'm going to share, who
Sure.
has, in Spanish, like, quien tiene el derecho, as if who has been welcomed into
Mm-hmm.
that, the inner circle
Yeah.
for me to be
Yeah.
able to share that with.
Yeah.
But I think, when we first connected, and it was the passion of the purpose and the purpose of the passion, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's that when you asked before, that's one of the things that is really important for me. It's the purpose. And
Mm-hmm.
through the purpose becomes the passion,
Yes.
because there's so many women out there, and men as well, that are going through different things, and it's, where is that safe space? What can I do? Who can I
Mm-hmm.
speak with? How can I share?
Mm-hmm.
And they want to know the tools, you know what's working for that person in
Mm-hmm.
a healthy way.
Mm-hmm.
What can I what's going to be my takeaway? What am I going to be able to learn from this? How can I, you know leave that toxic, or this world that's not working,
Mm-hmm.
in order for me to be able to say, this is me now, and this is how I want to go forward.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so your message for us today would be, what do you think that your message today would be? You know, where are you at
I
and
think I think one of the thing is, it's the question, and it's being true to yourself. I think
mm-hmm,
it's the congruency, and I think we're too scared to ask ourselves that question.
mm-hmm,
We don't want to look at ourselves in the mirror and say, okay, what's going on? Do
mm-hmm,
do 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 I like me? Would I like me? What would I like
mm-hmm,
of me? Right?
mm-hmm.
And I think it's to get that pause, but also to give yourself that time, which is to be able to go through the process
Mm-hmm.
and allow yourself that journey, because
Yeah.
it's one of the biggest gifts, um, to, yesterday when I was writing, we always say, let's follow the yellow brick road,
Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's the destiny. But then everybody is so worried on, where are we going? But nobody's really focused on the journey.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was writing yesterday, and I said, this is my new yellow brick road. I choose
Mm-hmm.
where I'm going, how I'm going, what I'm wearing, and it's removing all of these beliefs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think the most important is to be able to give yourself that gift.
Mm-hmm.
And, we're going into, the year of the horse, which is galloping, which is movement, which is excitement. But you can't go into that if you're going to carry all the shit from the past.
Right.
And we want to travel lighter.
You just said just because you slowed
No,
down a
we
little
want
bit,
to,
you want to travel a little bit
I don't know,
lighter,
we want to,
right? Yeah. Yeah. You
yeah,
want to try. Yeah.
yes,
Gotta
yes,
get rid of the load.
yeah,
Gotta get rid of the load. Yeah. No
just
matter
flow,
how.
just
Yeah.
flow. And I
Mm-hmm.
think it's to, and also to find that passion along with the
Mm-hmm.
purpose.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very important that one does it for oneself. One doesn't do it for other people.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm the first one to say it.
Mm-hmm.
I've done a lot of things to please other people. I
Mm-hmm.
lost myself in the rhetoric of a daughter, a
Mm-hmm.
mother, a wife, and I
Mm-hmm.
lost myself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and right now, I'm doing it for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think that that's I'm the one responsible for that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So what I'm hearing from you is um after all those years of giving of yourself and maybe losing parts of yourself, and getting into some really serious toxic things, um, you have it got to a point where it was just enough, and you really needed to start listening to yourself and healing yourself, and you did that through um, yoga, Reiki, meditation, creation, determination. Um, and you're finding yourself now doing things for yourself in flow and with freedom. And it's not like nothing bad ever happens. Still, things happen. You might get yourself into situations. There are things that you have to deal with on a daily basis, but at the same time, you have, you know, um, maybe a stronger ground, and you're able to let go of the things you need to let go of, set your boundaries, have the strength to walk over that threshold to enter in the new part of wherever you're going on that journey. Yeah.
It's I think we go through this journey.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I go through this journey,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I live this to be able. I don't want to live my kids' life. They have their life to live,
Mm-hmm.
but I also, with what I've gone through, I'm now able to share things in a different way for them to be able to see it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Okay.
I to respect to them, I can't, certain things that I can't share.
Mm-hmm.
But now I can say, okay, this is what happened. Now look at it like this, and this.
Right. Yeah.
Um, it's there. The other thing also is there's a huge spiritual factor
Mm-hmm.
in my belief system or tradition or culture, however you want to be able to call it, that's also allowed me to be able to understand certain things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So with your kids, you're able to take what
So,
you've been through, and it's sort of made you who you are today. And it's given you the relationships you
very
have with
much.
them. And in your spiritual life, you've taken what you've been through again, and your life stories, your passion, your purpose, and you're able to understand it through your spiritual practices, spiritual beliefs, and basic spirituality. So. Yeah. Beautiful.
It's a huge combination. And I think,
Yeah.
it was interesting. The book that I read, God is My Understanding, it was written by a rabbi.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I do also want to think, just add on to something which I've realized also in this journey
Mm-hmm.
is when I had shared this with a very close friend of mine, and he said there are a lot of people that don't understand me, and he
Mm-hmm.
looked at me and goes, they don't need to understand you, they need to respect you.
Mm-hmm.
And the respect and the tolerance is huge. It goes hand in hand, and a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people don't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
We are so pre-programmed into, this is how you have to act, this is how you have to speak, this is how you have to do da na 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 na. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, and I was like that, and the first
Mm-hmm.
one to say it.
Mm.
I grew up
Yeah.
like that.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
was married to somebody who shut me up for many years,
Mm-hmm.
and it's you have to respect and you have to be tolerant to others. What
Mm-hmm.
you're going through is what you're going through. Your belief system is yours,
Mm-hmm.
and that's on them. Yeah, just like I tell
Mm-hmm.
my kids, you've lived your life.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you want to fuck it up, or
Mm-hmm.
it's like the three, the 3 second rule, right? Um, but take ownership.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
take
Mm-hmm.
ownership for the things that you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, because if you're gonna fuck it up, and if
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna do that, then at least be accountable and be responsible for something like that.
Yeah, sure. Like we have to be responsible for ourselves and we have to be when you want, when you want other people to respect you and you have to respect other people and not everybody is the same and we're all different from each other and we have to allow each other to be who we are, as long as no one is getting hurt.
Well,
You
you
know what
just
I
said
mean?
it. You just
Mm-hmm.
said it, and
Yeah.
this is something.
That's a whole other story.
Of
Yeah.
course, it's a whole other
But it's
story.
very important. I think it's really important to be able to know who you are and where you stand and respect yourself, and then have the awareness and the space within you to respect other people for who they are as, as and if there's someone that you don't respect, you stay away. If there's
A
someone
hundred,
that you're not comfortable with, you stay away.
but
And you create your boundary as long as you're not, no one is going after you and calling you whatever. And as long as we're not going after other people and calling
sure,
them whatever.
I I've gone through it all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've
So,
gone
yeah.
through it all. I have
Mm-hmm.
gone through the criticism, the judgment. I have gone through the humiliation. I have gone through betrayal. I have gone through people sharing my story. I have gone through my ex going and using me in his conferences. I
Mm-hmm.
have heard everything.
Yeah.
Well, everything. I've heard a lot.
Yeah.
Um, it's
Yeah.
humiliating. It's
Mm-hmm.
denigrating.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think I think it makes me even stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as if okay, you're saying this. Well, you know, first of all, if you're going to say it to my face.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, ask me.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you should ask me first. But I
Mm-hmm.
do think it's interesting. It's maybe even stronger.
Yeah. Well, what I would
It,
like to say to that is that, you are coming off of that and coming out of something like that with all the feelings that you just shared with us, and you are, dancing and sharing, your transformation and your
and I'm going to
takeaways.
continue.
So
And I'm going to
exactly,
I'm going to
exactly.
continue I'm
Yeah.
gonna, if I can still continue, I'm going to.
Yeah.
Um,
And
but
that's,
one thing also, what I've done, um, I kind of took a pause, and it's allowed me to kind of self, self reflect on what direction am I going on right now.
yeah, like every
And
time,
I needed,
yeah, every time you
yeah,
see yourself, you feel that change within you. You're almost so used to it already. You kind of hear it coming up already. Oh, there's change coming. Oh, I got to listen to myself.
yep,
Oh, what's happening next? Oh, I got to sit back and let it, listen a little bit longer and, so it's part of your rhythm. It's like really part of your rhythm. Yeah, nice. Beautiful. Manita, thank you. 'Cause
yeah,
we
and
can
I
go on
think the
forever.
incredible shark. I know. I think there's so much, but I want to thank you because we don't always realize this, but sometimes when there's a big difference when you write something as opposed to talking about it. And
Mm,
even now as we're talking, I'm realizing there's so much. But I thank you.
mm.
We figured it out with the
Yeah.
internet.
Yes.
Um, which
Yeah.
we did figure it out, and
Yes. Yeah.
you know, we just got to find the right, all the right ways for each one of us. What
Yeah.
works.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think it's a great opportunity to have more people follow you and watch you and listen to you and have you share with them and maybe they want to share with you. And so that's the purpose
They
of
know where to
this.
find me.
Exactly. The purpose of this podcast is to bring people out into the open, to show people, what other people have been through. And, we might not have gone into depth about every little thing. You did mention quite a few heavy moments. And so I appreciate that. And, and I wish you all the best.
Thank
And I
you.
will keep following
Thank
you and
you.
dancing with you and having your
And listen
takeaways.
to
I
the
love that. The
music.
takeaways and listening to the music. Exactly. And watching you dance. And yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So all the best for 2026.
I'm ready. I'm ready to close this year. I am so ready
Good. Good for you.
and
Yeah.
start on,
Yeah.
2026, year 8.
Yeah.
An incredible year. Looking
Good.
forward to it.
Great.
Thank you, Shar. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. And we will see you soon on your Life Story podcast. Thank you for listening. Let us know how
Ciao.
you feel about it in the comments. Take care.